Hello. My name is Lord Surtr, and I'm here for you today with the tier list for the tier 1 destroyers for the Abyss. So that would be calm filaments. Abyssal Dead Space is, well, if you're here, you probably know what it is, but it's a form of instanced content, like 3 rooms with random waves in it, like a random wave in it. Of NPCs you need to kill before you can move on to the next one. It has 3 rooms, it has a 20-minute timer, so it also comes with tiers. You've got Tranquil Tier 0, Calm Tier 1, Agitated Tier 2, Fierce Tier 3, Raging Tier 4, Chaotic Tier 5 and Cataclysmic Tier 6. So the destroyers I'm gonna go over today are all of the destroyers in game. Non-special ships. I've tested all of them. Not all of them will actually make it. They're of course not equal, which is why we're here. So I'm gonna get started. Some of these will be alpha capable. Most of these, sorry to say, will not. Anything Tech 2 will not. And it's not because an alpha can sit in it that an alpha can fly it and that an alpha can complete Abyss with it. The ones that I succeeded in testing for alphas, I'll try to remember to mention it, but there will of course be exceptions, and this will not be. This is of course as objective as possible. Some bias may creep in. I did test all of these, sometimes even for way longer than I intended. I've lost plenty. Fits with the help of people in chat. We came up with a few really weird fits that surprisingly work quite well. Some destroyers that I expect to do very well actually failed. So let's get started. There are 34 ships to go through, so let's go. So I'm gonna start with the Algos. Now I'm gonna do them alphabetically. The Algos is a Galente Tier 1 Tech 1 destroyer. It comes with a very weird set of drones. It has 60 cubic meters of drone bay and 35 cubic meters of bandwidth, which means you can launch the ideal optimal DPS setup for this one, similar to the Megas, is 2 mediums, 3 lights. That's the highest combination of damage you can put out. So you need to actually group them, and that is why I don't really like flying this as much, but it's a bit strange. But that aside, I would put the Algos in the B tier, a solid B tier, for the simple fact that it comes with a fair amount of DPS, and you can fit it for, I mean, the Algos, the armor tank Algos runs electrical, exotic and firestorm. It's about 36 million ISK, drones and drones main damage, railguns in support. This one is armor tanked. The fits are all on my spreadsheet, that will be linked down below. The images of the tier list will also be included there. Most of these fits are listed also on the workbench or the abyss tracker. The ones that are allowed on the abyss tracker at least. Some of these ships that I've flown in the abyss are not allowed in the abyss, apparently, so I guess I'm special. I'm not. It just isn't updated yet. But yeah, the Algos also has another version. If you run gammas with this, you can get away with a shield, a passive shield tank fit on the Galente ship. I know, it's weird. Like I said, we threw some weird fits in and some ended up working. This fit worked excellent. So the passive shield tank one would be 31 million and not advised for alphas. It might be with shield skills that you need essentially at a higher level. With the Algos in most drone ships, of course, change drones according to the weather type you run. So the Algos, solid B tier. Next up we have the Bifrost. The Bifrost is a Tech 2 command destroyer, so Minmatar basic upgrade of the tower. This one I would put definitely in the A tier. So the Bifrost runs all weather types. Dark, electrical, gamma, firestorm, it runs everything. It comes shield tanked with light missiles attached. This is a Tech 2 ship. This will be very comfortable to fly. Need to have Omega, of course, and 125 million cost for, well, the fit at this moment. So, not much to say here. It is very straightforward. It is really easy to fly. Has a lot of DPS. Also does tier 2 dark, but only dark. So next we will have the ganker's favorite ship of choice. Yep, did abyssals with this one. I would put this in the D tier. Now the catalyst has a few issues, as most gankers know. Tank is definitely one of those. So the catalyst needs high skills, occasionally will dip into hell, also occasionally may die. So if you run this, you need high skills, and honestly, ships will be lost. It will make its money back. Most rooms are definitely a pass, but the catalyst has a problem with the Kikimora room and Sasha rooms. Not enough tank on this thing essentially. So it's armor tanked, uses railguns. Also, it only runs on electrical. It doesn't work anywhere else. The capacitor on this thing is horrendous. Yeah. So not advised to noob people. Also not advised for experienced people. Just yeah. Know what you get, what you start. So first of all, I'm gonna make this a little easier. If I can type, that would be nice. So S will be super tier. I should have done this before, but I guess this is a draw. A tier I would say are the ships that are very good to fly. B I would still class as good ships to fly, good ships to start, good ships to get into. C, I would say C is decent. C is definitely decent, still doable, for sure. D would be challenging, and I'm gonna get it over with. I forgot to add the room down below, the thing down below, so that would be F. Fail. Okay, I hope that didn't run through the video. I'll check it out on my recording. A lot of people are sick around here, so at this point I'm gonna get this a nice blue color. So, okay. The catalyst, not advised for newbies. Next up would be the catalyst navy issue. Now this one is straight up an upgrade in every single way. This one goes into B tier. Now the catalyst navy issue doesn't just run electrical, it runs electrical, exotic and firestorm. Comes armor tanked as well, with railguns. Fit cost about 32 million, goes into the B tier. The weakness for this one is capacitor. So it has a decent tank, it has great DPS, it is cap stable without the propulsion module. So basically if you juggle your capacitor a bit and focus neutralizers as your main target, you'll be good. Then we have another really good ship, but I would say the Coercer navy issue. I'm gonna put that one in the B tier right in front of the Catalyst Navy issue. Now the Coercer Navy issue is armor tanked, runs electrical and firestorm. So this one uses beam lasers. Beam lasers still have good tracking, at least the small ones do. They have also really good range, so you get the option basically to fly around and tank and kite. So Sanchas are, as a result, not that much of a problem. Tessera battlecruisers, you can actually stay away from them, so also really great DPS and very good tank. The range is uncomfortable in good DPS, tank and range. Sorry, I was reading something different. 53 million total fit, solid B tier. Next up would be the Coercer. Now, the Coercer is obviously not as good as the Navy version, so the Coercer I'm gonna put right in front of the Catalyst. So this is a challenging ship to fly, armor tanked, only runs electrical, uses pulse lasers on this one, beams just would not fit, with at least some tank on it. 28 million. If you get a Kikimora room, there's only one strategy: don't try to kite it because it will just burn you down. The Kikimora, you need to go in. You need to head straight for it, and don't be afraid to overheat your guns even from the beginning. This thing needs everything you got. Kikimora rooms are no joke in this one. You may die to some. So this one obviously needs good armor skills and definitely good laser skills, because you need all the DPS you can, because in a DPS race, the longer it goes on, the higher the chances of the Kikimora will be. Does not have as much of an issue with most other rooms. Then we have the pinnacle of Ammar laser technology. That would be the Confessor. This should not be a surprise. Confessor goes straight up into the S tier. No other option. It's just the best. So the Confessor, I've got two versions for. I've got a pulse laser Confessor for 135 million. Great DPS and tank. Range is uncomfortable in the Dark Abyss and runs everything except Dark very well. So this one does electrical, firestorm, gamma and exotic. The second version of the Confessor would be the beam laser version. A little bit more expensive at 170 million, but that one runs everything just fine. There are no issues with the beam version, except it has a slightly lower DPS than Pulse. Yeah, still amazingly good. Like, this thing is a monster at tier 1. Then we have, honestly, one that I would definitely recommend as both a starter and an advanced version for the Alpha clone and Omega clone. Anything in Alpha can fly and Omega can also do. So Corax goes straight up next to the Bifrost even. Yes, next to the Bifrost. Into A tier. Very good ship. The Corax, we have probably about, if I'll just look at my spreadsheet, like a five different fits for that all work. So yeah, really, the ship is that good. All of the versions for the Corax work in dark and exotic filaments. They're all shield tanked. Some versions use light missiles, some use rockets. If you're an alpha, I would suggest light missiles, but do make sure you have some skills, so at least you have some DPS to beat, for example, the Skybreaker room, which is like one to beat in this ship. So I don't want to put really a number on it, but I would say 125, 130 DPS on your sheet. I think that's the minimum. If not, it is also a excellent ship for tier 0s until you get those skills sorted. So the fits are from 9 million ranging to 27 million. There's also 20 million, 19.5, depends what you go for. You've got light missile active tanked fits, light missile passive tanked fits. You've got the rocket active fit, the rocket passive shield tank fit. You've also got the 10 MN oversized afterburner passive tank fit. If you have a little bit more skills, really fun to fly, all of those variations. So definitely a very solid A tier. Then we get to the next ship, the Cormorant. Now the Cormorant goes straight up into C tier. It's better than the Coercer and the Catalyst, but it's not great. The Cormorant is best used in exotic. Shield tanked with railguns, total fit is about 27 million. Difficult rooms for the Cormorant are the Angels, especially if you get a Cinnaball. Cinnaballs really make the engine room hard. The Sunshine room and a Skybreaker. So C tier, 10 MN passive fit, yes, again. This one needs good skills. Don't fly this as an alpha. I would not suggest this as an alpha. If you are an alpha, I would suggest forking out just that little bit more disc and going straight up for the Navy version. Now the Navy version, Navy Cormorant Navy issue is straight up A tier. Maybe B tier if you're a lower skilled alpha, but B tier is still good. Don't get me wrong, B tier is still excellent. So shield tanked with railguns, the fit total is about 69 million, so yes, a little bit more expensive. So this one runs exotic really smooth. No problems, no dangerous rooms, all good. Then we have the Dragoon. Now the Dragoon I would put in B tier as well. The Dragoon is a ship that is mainly a drone boat. You can change your drones according to the filament you run. I would suggest to stick to electrical though. If it's best used as an armor tank. So mainly drones, but I used light missiles with it. There are also options to fit basically anything on there you want. It doesn't come with any bonus to any weapon system other than its drones. So you can fit autocannons on there, you can fit artillery on there, lasers, like whatever you would like. It's just for me, light missiles felt the best because they have range, so you can kite. They don't need tracking, and they don't use capacitor. And they fit perfectly, so 23 million fitting cost. It is a dual rep fit, but the second repair is only for panic moments, as I in testing never used it. My skills were really good, so if your skills are worse, you're probably gonna end up using it here and there. So don't remove it, and if you remove it, make sure you upgrade the one that remains. Then we have another ship that's honestly one of my favorite ones to fly. I wish this was a little better so it could do dual box tier 6 like Jack does. That would make me extremely happy, but it doesn't. It's not that good, but in the low tiers it is absolutely brutal. That would be the Draugr. The Draugr is another straight up S tier ship, and I would definitely even put it in front of the Confessor. Now, it is more expensive though. It's a Triglavian command destroyer. It runs all weather. At tier 1 it runs all the weathers. It doesn't run all the weathers when it goes higher, but at tier 1 it doesn't matter. You will always have very good range even in dark abyssals. So it is armor tanked, mainly uses the disintegrator. The fit cost is a bit pricey, so 494 million, but it's mostly the ship itself, it's mostly the hull. So the Draugr, there is honestly nothing bad I can say about it. I've tried looking for a weakness, it doesn't appear to have one. Then we have the Ares. Now the Ares I would put at the front of B tier. The Ares is a Galente interdictor. It runs exotic. Armor comes armor tanked with railguns. Now most of the fits will be I don't use any blasters here, because blasters, the range is just too short. Yes, on paper the DPS looks really bloody nice. Problem is, you will hardly ever be applying that damage. With railguns you have the option for range and kiting. So 100 million total fit. This one requires good capacitor skills and maybe a little bit of cap management here and there, depending on how many neutralizers they throw your way. Tier 1 it isn't so bad yet, so you should definitely be okay. Then we have one that is another one of my favorites. I've always loved the Flycatcher. Flycatcher goes straight up into S tier. Not because it's my favorite bus, but because it runs all weather, very chill. It is also a passive tanked light missile beast. This one has some serious DPS. It's a Caldari interdictor with light missiles, and the fit is also affordable at 87.5 million. There are no dangerous rooms, there are no difficult scenarios for this one. It just runs smooth through everything. Then we have our Galente tactical destroyer. I'm gonna butcher this one probably, because I've heard like 5 pronunciations. Are they Hecate or Hecate? Or Hecat? Or I've heard some weird stuff. I'm just gonna call it Hecate because that sounds natural to me. This one is all weather, runs everything. Armor tanked with railguns, again, same reason as before. It is a little bit more expensive at 155 million. Obvious S tier, so this comes with good DPS, range and tank. I have a web on the fit, but it can fit an extra tracking computer instead of the web if you choose to. Because during my testing I have hardly ever used the web, because usually I was kiting and the web wasn't really helping. So a little bit of tracking or range on the guns might help, so tracking computer could be the better option here. So then we have the Heretic. Sorry. That would be the Amar interdictor. So this one runs all weather, armor tanked, and I used light missiles on this one. If you put rockets on this one, I haven't tried it, but I would suggest only to try dark with the rockets. This thing does not have a super tank. It is more than enough for tier 1 though, with light missiles, because it gives you the option to kite. So 82 million total fit. And then, honestly, we come to what I consider to be the best destroyer in the Abyss. And I don't even consider any other opinions about this. I don't think this is even worthy of a debate. The Jackdaw. And I have my reasons, and they're not subjective, they are objective. There is no other destroyer in EVE Online, in this game, that can go all the way up to tier 6. There is no other one. This is the only option. This runs Dark tier 6 Abyss. Duo, fair enough, but this is the only one that goes that high. So it is to no surprise that this is what I consider the absolute pinnacle and the best destroyer to fly in the Abyss. Not just a tier 1. at any tier. This is the Caldari Tactical Destroyer, runs all weather, it does not care. I mean, let me clarify, the light missile shield tanked version runs all weather. 106 million, you can active tank it, or you can go with the ones that I'm gonna still make a video about later. That would be the passive shield tanked Jackdaw. It started as a bit of a what if joke, but it ended up being a very fun and awesome thing to fly, because it works way better than expected. It also does tier 2 without a sweat. Tier 3 duo, so it's fun. The other version would be only suitable for dark. That would be the Rocket Jackdaw. You don't see those often, they're rather rare, but in dark they perform really well. Tier 1. I'm not sure this will go very high, but tier 1 this is perfect, like 126 million. Obvious also S tier. It depends. I would go with the light missile one, because with the light missile one it doesn't matter what you enter, you're always gonna obliterate the abyssal. The next one would be the Kikimora, and that should be the nobody surprise, goes to the front of A tier. Yes, the Kikimora honestly is at tier 1 extremely similar to the Draugr in everything. It does all weather, including dark. It has the range, it has a tank, it has even surprisingly the speed, and the smaller the targets, I mean honestly it has so much DPS that it really doesn't matter, you will slice through everything. And if it's a battleship, just have some fun watching the number go up. Just have some fun with it. It goes high. Fun to watch. So, armor tanked with an entropic disintegrator, 147 million. A tier, so good tank, great spool up DPS and enough range to get through the Dark Abyss easily. Next up we have the Megas. So the Megas goes also into A tier. The Megas is, as I mentioned in the beginning, the command destroyer for the Calente from the Algos. It is an improvement in most ways, except for the fact that it keeps the awkward drone bay in flight. So this has the same tiny annoyance that the Algos has. Best flight, optimal DPS is 2 mediums and 3 lights, 35 bandwidth. So this one runs electrical, firestorm, exotic and gamma. It's a drone boat, so everything except dark. Armor tanked, drones with railguns, 83 million fit. Good tank, but change drones according to the weather type. Next up we have the Guristas with the Mamba. Now the Mamba is honestly a fantastic ship. It runs electrical, firestorm, exotic and gammas. It's a drone boat as well, so once again, no dark. It did get a buff to the speed of the drones, which also is really good, except in dark, where they get a debuff of fall off and optimal range, plus a speed bonus, on top of a speed bonus, on top of drones that are already fast, with hardly any range to hit anything. So if they try to stop, they still overshoot. So the drones have essentially become useless in dark. So anything except dark with the Guristas. And that also applies to all of them, honestly, also to the Gila and the Worm. So shield tanked, drone and drones and light missiles. Honestly, this one you can fit either way. There is the option to focus more on the missiles or on the drones, or to split it. If you split it, the DPS will be almost even. Unless your skills for one are better than the other, This is a very versatile ship. You can scale the DPS depending on the way your skills are focused. So 198 million, I would definitely say front of A tier. It's good as a ship, so very solid. Then we have our other pirate destroyer, that would be the Mickey Ball. This is an Angel Cartel destroyer, it runs all weather. Yes, I shield tanked this one, because if I armor tank this one I would lose a lot of DPS on it. So I used autocannons with this one. It still has the range to kite, it has the range to go around the Sanchas, it has the range to stay away from the Tesseras. So 112 million, solid A tier, smooth sailing even in dark. Oh, give me a sec, I was scrolling, I didn't realize I was... okay. And then we have a couple of ships coming up that I might make a video about all the mining ships in the Abyss. So we have the first one, that would be the Outrider. The Outrider obviously goes into the A tier. The Outrider is the ore or consortium, not 100% ore command destroyer. It is very good to boost and protect a small or mobile mining fleet, which also makes it a solid combat ship. It comes with a lot of DPS, a very good drone flight, and a solid tank, so obviously it does run Abyss. So the Outrider runs electrical, and it is shield tanked with the main DPS being the drones, and I fit this one with autocannons. There is also the option for artillery if you want to have more range, but that will drop the DPS down a little bit. So the fit would be 119 millions, solid A tier. And then, you know, there was at the end of the year the Winter Nexus event, and the Winter Nexus event in, well, end of 2025, they brought the special Frostline edition of the Outrider. Essentially it's the same model as the Outrider. That would be the Perseverance, a special limited edition ice harvesting destroyer. Like it's focused for the ice harvesting. So let me see, this one I put into the C tier. It is decent. It is actually decent. It runs electrical as well, shield tanked, and artillery with drone DPS. Of course, the price tag will vary a lot. When I bought and made the fit, it was 555 million for the whole package. Most of that is a ship, but since it's a limited, it's a special ship, may or may not return next year at the end, I don't know. Prices may vary and potentially will go up by a lot, so this one is definitely not a recommend. It is also only C tier, it's only decent. Yeah, it's got one problem room, which would be the Skybreaker. It does beat it, but it's not easy. So can do it, but it's costly, and I would say do not fly this with low skill points. Then we have the Pioneer Consortium issue. Now, this one again goes straight into C tier. It is decent. It runs electrical, shield tanked, and drones with autocannons. Artillery is an option. 159 million, but when I was testing this and making this fit, the ship was still very new. It's potentially dropped a lot in price. Like, the values of the fits can of course change according to the market. Problem rooms would be the Tesseras, but they are most definitely beatable. So a decent tank and good DPS on this one, C tier. Next up we have its Tech 1 version, that would be the Pioneer, the basic Pioneer. This one goes straight up into F tier. It is a failure for Tier 1 Abyss. Do not fly this into the Abyss. You can get away with Tranquil, Tier 0. This is essentially similar to the Venture. It can run Tier 0, it just dies in Tier 1. Don't bother for Tier 1. And for Tier 0s, make sure your DPS, shield and capacitor skills are excellent. The ship skills, they don't matter. Then we have the Pontifex, which would go straight up into A tier. The Pontifex is the Amarr command destroyer. It flies through electrical, firestorm, gamma and exotic. It is armor tanked and main DPS would be drones, and yes, similar to the Dragoon the ship is based on. I used light missiles in the high slots for the very simple reasons that it allows you to kite, it allows you to have the range with the missiles, and it doesn't use any capacitor. 83 million for the fit currently, solid A tier, change drones according to the weather, and it can carry 3 full flights. So technically you could put 3 different drone types in here. So then you're already carrying 3 out of 4 of the filament types essentially. So the benefit of light missiles is something I didn't mention with the Dragoon. You can select your damage type according to whatever you want to fire. So again, same thing, you can select your damage, which is a really underrated perk. Next up we have the Saber. Now the Saber goes into the A tier. The Saber is a Minmatar interdictor. It runs all weather. I shield tank this one with artillery, ride it with autocannons. With autocannons the range is on the edge, and it can definitely take a serious pounding from Tessera rooms and rooms you need to kite. So artillery gives you very good range, and it only drops your DPS down a little bit, because the Saber is really awesome for DPS, so don't worry with artillery, you will have plenty of DPS to clear everything easily. So 82 million total fit. A tier, you have the option, if your tracking sucks or if your skills with tracking are lower, to remove a gyro stabilizer and put a tracking enhancer on. In the fit I did include it in the cargo, so you're free to change, it is of course included. Then we have what I would consider to be the front of A tier, the Stork. The Stork is the Kaldari command destroyer. It runs all weather. It is shield tanked. Honestly, I believe mine was passive shield tanked even. I use light missiles on it. 85 million total cost. This ship, passive tanked, it flies exactly the same as the Corax. There is nothing different about it except it has a better tank and does more DPS. It is just the exact same except better in every way. Very, very, very easy to fly. Also does tier 2, I believe all weather, but that will be tested later. Next up we have the Synesis, the Society of Conscious Thought Frigates. Now, destroyer. It runs electrical, exotic, firestorm and gamma. Like, the majority of its DPS comes from the drones, as it has a sizable drone bay. It is shield tanked with drones doing the main DPS, and I did use once again light missiles for reasons stated before. 43 million on the fit. C tier. It does run everything except dark. Don't run darks in drone modes. It is not the best at anything. It is a jack of all trades and a master of none. Let me just... yeah, no. So the next one would be another Tech 3 tactical destroyer. That would be the Svipul, the Minmatar tactical destroyer. The Swivel runs all weather. It's shield tanked, and I did put artillery on it. Again, for the reasons that artillery has the option to kite and still plenty of DPS. Honestly, I prefer artillery over autocannons in most cases. 135 million for the fit, or one of the fits, absolute S tier. You can active tank this one, and yes, you can also passive shield tank it. It works for both. Then we have a ship that I tested way longer than I expected. I kept coming up with different fits for it. Some of them kept dying, and then I tested on the alpha, and it's so many variations on this one. That would be the Talwar. The end result for me is that I'm going to put the Talwar at the back end of B tier. So this one has some nuances to it. There are two fits that I would go over. We've got the passive shield tanked Dark and Gamma's light missile fit. It depends. No, there's an active and a passive tanked fit. 9.8 million for the passive, 19 million for the active one. With the active one using Take 2 missiles. So the passive one can be used as an alpha, but I would stick to Gamma for the extra shield HP and recharge as a result of it. It is very simple to fly, the passive fit. It's just a fit with a shield buffer, light missiles and a macro warp drive. That is literally the basics. You fly around, be very fast, and you kite everything. The second version would be only suited for Omega and Dark Abyss, because that one is a rocket tower. The rocket tower I could not get working on the alpha, so we've got that one for 17 million ISK. Both are somewhat B tier level, I would say. Next up we have a ship that was extremely expensive when I got it, but it seems to have come down a lot in price. That would be the Abyss Destroyer, the Tolos. So the Tolos definitely gets its spot into the A tier. It runs electrical and gamma. It is shield tanked. You can passive or active shield tank it, both work. The major issue with the Tolos though, from my experience, is that this is not a ship for a newbie or a player that's been playing for a little bit already. This is a ship that I would say only advanced players can use, and with advanced I mean people who have skills all over the place, because this ship is a mixing pot of 4 different, maybe 5 weapon systems. Let me check. We've got artillery, and I put artillery on it, so projectiles, rockets, missiles. So we've got the breacher pod, or it's actually 4, and the drones. So we've got 4 different weapon systems, and the breacher pods are only used on 2 ships, so very specific skill set. Also the breacher pod I would suggest not using it on small targets, save it for battlecruiser, and you're gonna have a lot of fun with this one on the battleships. 306 million, A tier. Range can be a limiting factor for this one, as well as 3 different weapon systems, technically 4 with the drones. But that is kind of the reason and the thinking why I put artillery on it. Even though the breacher pod will not be in range, the rockets might be right on the edge, the artillery will always be in range, so you will at least do some damage from a distance, plus you have the drones. So you can actually kite, it's just you're not going to be using your full potential, but you will of course be surviving, which is way better. Next up we have the Minmatar T1 Destroyer, the Thrasher. Now the Thrasher is something that I really like to fly. I love this ship. So I spent a lot of time on this one. I lost I need to think now, probably, well, let's just say more than 10 Thrashers in testing. 10 versions died. So this one is for me a failure. Could not get this one working. Yes, it made its money back on a few fits, but it always died afterwards. Its main benefit was that it was always finding a way to exit the abyssal before you got to the third room. Don't fly the Thrasher in tier 1. I'm sure it's very good in tier 0, but it's not suited for tier 1. The problem is not the DPS, the problem is surviving. Your tank does not hold. If you see a Kikimora, well, that self-destruct option is there for a reason. Yeah, I don't like it, but that is what it is. Next up, and last one, I am not sure how long I've been going, because this will probably be a very long video again, 34 destroyers. So this is the Thrasher fleet issue. Now, the Thrasher fleet issue is the Minmatar faction version of the Thrasher. It runs electrical, exotic, firestorm and gamma. No dark. Although, if you were to fit this one with artillery, you could go dark as well. It's just the autocannons are right on the edge of the range. So, this one is shield tanked, passive shield tanked, because this thing has so much DPS. Like this, the DPS in this one is absolutely insane. But it doesn't have a very good tank, so it does. This is a poster child of the Minmatar rush. This is the best offense. The best defense is a good offense. So that is a Thrasher fleet. I used autocannons on this one. It is 91 million for the fit that I used. I would suggest to put this one on somewhere on the B tier. Now, this one needs good shield skills. This is pure Daka. And this one begs to the question, extenders over purgers? Potentially. Reason is a little bit more buffer on this one doesn't hurt. It gives you more time to dish out your DPS. So these are all the destroyers. This is the full tier list. There's 34 of them. And yes, I had to fail 2. And there's also the Coercer, and I think they're quite challenging. As for alphas, let me just quickly go over the ones that I consider to be somewhat viable for alphas. If I go from the top here, I would suggest the Mamba. You might have some fitting issues, so not 100%. The Mamba, definitely alpha capable. The Meki Ball should also be decent for alpha. Not cheapest options, but maybe fitting will scream a little, but that is, if it's a 1% implant for something you can fix some stuff with, that is worth it. Wouldn't go much higher though. Next ship for an alpha I would suggest is the Cormorant Navy issue, and most definitely, even as a starter, the Corax. Corax, I would say, if you have lower skills, is the best one out of all of them. For the B tier, of course, it's gonna be the Algos, the Navy Coercer. I would not suggest the Catalyst Navy issue because of the need for good capacitor skills. The Thrasher Fleet issue needs good shield skills, so I would say it's a bit of a risk. If you can kill everything before you die, then yeah, okay, sure. The Dragoon requires a little bit more skill because it uses multiple weapon systems, but it should be easy enough. Alvar, passive shield tank micro warp drive version, works perfectly for gammas, even with slightly lower skills, but I would still suggest some skills. The Cormorant Navy, the regular Cormorant I would not use for alphas at all. The Sunesis, I would do tier 0s with this, not tier 1s for alphas. These two for alphas are just a death sentence, and the Thrasher and Pioneer just fail. So, Mamba, Mekubal, Corax, and Cormorant Navy issue, I would say, are the obvious ones. So, that was it. I know I've been rambling for quite a while. Thanks for still being here if you still are. I did a poll, and after this one, the next round of testing, but I'm gonna take a little bit of an easier time for a little bit, because I tested this fairly fast and all I was ever doing was abyssals, so I was really getting close to burning out on it. So I'm gonna probably take a little bit of throttle back, maybe do some other content in EVE for a couple of weeks maybe, and then we will of course continue and get back at it. So the poll was for what to do next, and tier 2 frigates for tier 2 abyssal agitated frigates 1. So that's gonna be the next one. There will be a lot lower of them because I am not gonna list all the ones that don't make it. From tier 2 I'm only gonna start listing the ones that do make it. If it's not on the tier list, it doesn't work for me. And if you find something that is not on the tier list and works, please let me know. I will, of course, check it out. So thanks for being here. I do a stream on Twitch, Kick and YouTube. So please subscribe and yeah, like the video. And if you want to see more or want to see something different, have suggestions, disagree with me, comments are down below. Any constructive criticism is more than welcome. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.